Okay, so back again, currently in the PM session. Have just taken a very small loss, but then again, only using the profits that I made today. So we took £26 loss. It was a very, very tight stop. And I was just looking at the price action coming into the start of this PM session, and ultimately I ended up chasing it. It's a bit emotional, but I kept this stop very tight. Currently looking at this, pretty much what I wanted to do was target this final high for the PM session. A little bit emotional, I know, but I'm currently just looking at this. I want to see how this 5 minute closes. Because this could be a nice little entry. Basically, I was looking at the PM session and I had this breaker block marked out. So it is a, 15-minute breaker block. I want to see price come down into this first before the PM session or during the PM session to then continue the move upwards. But it's sort of just held above on the 15-minute. And then on the 1 minute, we had this fair value gap created and retraced into at the start of the session, and the move up again, another fair value gap, and I was sort of torn between the 3 minute and the 1 minute chart, on another entry with a tight stop. Ultimately, I ended up being too late, and this cost me, it's not much, 23 quid, but it's a bit clumsy, especially after the video I just made. So yeah, I'm still documenting this because transparency. I did just get a bit carried away there, and that's what happens. So it's part of it. We could see price come back down here, but I'm not going to touch this now. I'm going to walk away. So on the day, up 153.80 instead of 180, but not risking any extra capital from my initial balance at the start of the week. So it depends how this closes. If this closes below, then leaving it. If not, we'll see. Where are we now? 58. So we've got 1 more minute. The reason why I got in was because the S&P was coming down, and it created a hourly inverse fair value gap there. Is that an inverse fair value gap? An hourly inverse, pretty much, on the 1 hour. 5 minute looks like that. And the entry would be long to continue up. So we got this much time here. And pretty much my entry, I wanted to see what would happen off this 15-minute fair value gap created here. Price sort of stalled a little bit and has dropped since. So just keeping an eye on how this closes in the next 10 seconds, because I might go in for a re-entry to target this high. With the stop just like that. It's closed above. Is there any news? This is more of a live journaling session. I'll have a look. No further news. Okay. If I do go in, however, I think this could go a bit lower here. So we're just waiting. Really, I shouldn't have taken the trade. It put me in a little bit higher. This stop loss I trimmed literally just below the fair value gap. So on the 3 minute, what's it, 5? Yeah, it was, where was it? 1 minute. It was just, let's go back like that. Yes, it was just like this. And yeah, stopped out to minus 23. So I'm gonna move that. As you can see, on the 5 minute, we've had that tapped and we've continued down. So just see how this pans out. 50 minutes looking more like that. I feel like that was a fake out. Price going to come back down, then continue up. So we're going live. I've already said that. Tapping this. How's the S&P looking? Okay. So we also have that. Zoom in a tad more. Yeah, I want to see if we come down here or if we go into here. What should I have waited for here? So when was my entry? That's the question. So if we look at the actual entry itself, was at 252. So here, and I should have waited for the 5 minutes close, 53, 54, 55, and then that would have come down. So that's my mistake. Should have waited there. Ultimately, I didn't even need to take the trade. So you can see, whilst I've posted a profitable day, I've let that slip, and that's on me. That's my responsibility. So I just want to see the reaction here because we do have a fair value gap forming, and that is trading below it at the moment. Holding. The 5 minutes gone below that now. Dropping. Bit of consolidation. This is waiting game. we'd have to see if there's a reaction off this point here. See, the S&P is looking more like a short play here with the previous daily high, previous daily low model. Looking more like that. But is the market going to do that? And do I want to hold that overnight? Probably not. Especially considering, well, it's not a fair value gap, but we've got the volume imbalance like so. So we now come into this on the 1 minute there, traded a bit further in. We'll see how the 15-minute candle closes, and if it closes below this fair value gap, we'll end the video. I don't really need to get back in here. No need. Six minutes. Here we go, pushing down. And that trade at the top there was minus 59 pips. Okay. Five minutes closed below that. Further push down. S&P looks like this. Yeah, so it would have been the right call in the S&P with the higher time frame model playing out. Look at that lovely move. Just zip that down a little bit, 953. Already down 945. 44. So that would have been 10 handles right there. Say for example, did that, pop that in the hourly. That's a big move, but If that was the case, we would be running in 148. Not in that at the moment, so we're not too interested. Right. So we're sitting around the optimal trade entry on this leg up to go higher at the moment. Whoa, not 51. Is that something I want to take? Not necessarily. Why? Because I just took a loss. Should that be something I'm worried about? Why is my stop there? Do you know what I mean? I understand that there's a lot going on in my chart at the moment. 1 minute looks like this. S&P still pushing down. Not enough confirmation yet. Gonna remove this and this and this and this for now. Take off these drawings. Just so we got a bit of a clearer picture. That's doing that. So you can get like a sense of what I'm looking at. Granted, this is the PM session. I'm not as confident in the PM session. There's no confirmation of my bias here, other than the higher time frame draw. So at this point, we're just watching. Appreciate that the 15 minutes now closed. Get rid of this fib. We have a market structure shift here. At the top of that breaker. Price still continuing. Look at this, nice push. Damn, this would have been a nice trade if I'd taken that. What would that be running at? This one would be running currently at 216. So unless I see something to confirm bullish movement upwards, we're just going to leave it. I'm going to keep this running actually, just because we'll just see what's going on. Like I say, it's going to take quite a lot for me to get in here, but just do a bit of live tape reading for now. So we get a break and retest here, and then we can look. Because like I say, this leg. Nope. If you look at it like that, sitting like that. So if we break this fair value gap, trade up and back into this fair value gap, that's what I'll be looking at. Again, that would need to align with this as well. Could just be the high of the day's already been created here, and that we don't continue further. So if that is the case, that comes like that. At the moment, S&P is a holding preference right now. The higher time frame is showing its dominance. Notice how we've bounced off this this high here. Price still selling off. Another failed push. risk to reward isn't great. Yeah. And if we're being completely honest, you can see my inexperience with the PM session, why the AM session's a bit nicer. I have more data collected on the AM session for the 8 o'clock 15-minute candle model. But previous daily high to previous daily low model, it can happen in any session because it's a more of a daily range driven. Still continuing to push down from this 5 minute. Again, failed auction up. Plus under 3. Yeah. Thinking that we're bearish at the moment. We're in a sell model. And take that out for now. It'll be all the people that have held throughout the session or throughout the day, all the way up, selling off their orders. A couple of people getting faked out, like myself. Further liquidity taken, pushed down. And you can see there is an imbalance here. That's where the TP would be. Draw that across. And whilst NASDAQ took that earlier in the day, went to that level, S&P is now catching up and cooling off. Just goes to show how easily your psychology can get miffed if you're looking at the charts for too long. You know, after I literally just finished filming my last video and I've gone back in. It's greed. That's what it is, greed. I wanted more. I've not taken a massive loss. I'm still in profit, but it's eating away at my profits on the day slightly. You know what I mean? Then again, the risk management will do the heavy lifting. Still continuing down here. 5 minute is about to close again. Ten seconds on this. There you go, it's closed below the midpoint. Even still, price doesn't really need to come back up to this level here. You can see on the 1 minute and the 3 minute, it's already wicked into that point. What even is that? It's the 5 minute. So if we zoom in a tad, yeah, 1, 2, 3. So even this smaller one, it's higher risk, lower probability, but still possible. Nasdaq is on its way down. And this also backs up what I was saying in my last video on the long position. Like, yeah, I could have held, or I could have let the trade run all the way to top target, but you know, as the market does, it tends to take you out. And at the time I was running at like £969. It would have been floating at £969 profit. Maybe that's come down to about £400 profit. So that further enforces my, what's the word? Can't think of the word at the moment, but it further enforces that I want to take profits when they're there, basically, rather than letting the whole thing run. Increase the win rate. Yeah, I don't see this coming back up at this point. We are on a mission down. It's the thing with the PM session, it's a bit slower moving. There's obviously less people in the markets. It's more people just offloading positions rather than getting in for the start of the day. You can see much bigger candles here compared to very small movements on the 1 minute. Let 30-minute candle close, see what it's looking like, and then I'm very likely to step away. I know I said after the 15-minute I would step away, but we got 45 seconds to the 30-minute candle closing. Depending on how that looks, we'll call it on the day. That's now right into this breaker here. It just looks like it's going to come down here. And if the S&P is going to go down, where does the Nasdaq go? Does it come into this imbalance here? You know, just a 30-minute. And further movement down. Bit of a meh here. Yeah, I'm going to call it here. That's going to be me done for the day. So with that being said, we took 2 trades, 1 win, 1 loss. Total P&L on the day, £153.80. And yes, that last one that I took in the PM session, minus 26.27 and minus 59 pips. We are coming back up into this zone. Holding there. And at this point, I'm not interested. We're in the PM session. I'm out of my zone. I'm breaking my rules. So with that being said, catch you in a bit.